What's up, YouTubers? Jeff here from Bakersfield Self-Perfection, Self-Preservation. This is a rather difficult video for me to do right now. It's a really sad story I'm about to read for you guys. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to read the story for yourself. I'm only going to read part of the story and then I'm going to give my thoughts on it here. It says a 7-year-old Taiwanese boy has died after being repeatedly slammed by his coach and others at a judo class. The boy, identified by his surname Hung, and I hope I'm saying the name correctly here, was taken off life support on Tuesday night after being in a coma since the April 21st incident. The coach, identified in reports by his surname Ho, has been inducted on charges or indicated on charges of causing bodily harm or bodily injury and using children to commit a crime. Okay, I gotta scroll down to read a little bit more. But when you scroll down, you actually see a picture of the 7-year-old being thrown by one of the students as a couple of students look on, and I think that's also the coach there in the background. You also see a picture of the kid on the hospital bed being hooked up while he's hooked up to machines. I really wish they didn't show that image. Thankfully, the face is blurred out and everything, but still, it's a really difficult image to see. And then you see the picture of the judo coach who is being brought up on charges here. And reading on here, Ho reportedly ordered other students to throw Hong to the mat, then began to do so himself even after the boy vomited and pleaded for the abuse to stop. He eventually became unresponsive and was taken to a hospital but never recovered consciousness. The incident was filmed by the boy's uncle, who took him to his first classes after he expressed an interest in judo earlier that month, to show his mother that the sport may not be right for him. Um, so apparently this abuse had been going on for some time. So, the boy's uncle had been taking the kid to his first few classes. So this kid, this was probably his third, maybe fourth class in judo. And the boy's uncle had been there for the first two classes, apparently, and had seen this abuse going on. Was probably telling his sister, hey, this is probably not right for your son. This guy does not seem like a good coach. Or he was probably warning her. And she was probably saying, well, I don't know, probably didn't believe him. I'm not sure in the whole case here, but yeah. So I guess the uncle decided this time I'm going to go ahead and film it, show it to her, so she'd believe me. And in some ways, it's a good thing he brought his video camera or recorded it on his phone. Because that video is definitely going to be used against the coach in the court case when this goes to trial. But one thing I want to know is, why didn't the uncle stop this at some point? I mean, when you read on, you find out that the kid had been slammed 27 times. He'd been slammed to the ground 27 times repeatedly by the coach and other students. At what point does someone step in and say, hey, no more, he can't take anymore? I mean, I sure as heck probably would have stopped it before the vomiting occurred, but definitely after the vomiting occurred, someone should have stepped up and said, no more. He can't take any more throws. He can't continue on doing this. Throw someone else. Or just stop the damn class. Also, the thing that gets me too is you find out as well, this judo coach, and I use that term loosely because He's not even a licensed judo coach. He had no coaching license to for this at all. It was, which actually is not much of a surprise when you read this story. You kind of get the feeling that he wasn't even qualified to teach a class to begin with. He clearly definitely wasn't qualified to be teaching no judo class. He had no business teaching these kids judo. To do something like this and cause a 7-year old boy to be put into a coma and now die after being taken off life support because he's been in a coma for 2 months. I swear this is, oh man. The boy's uncle feels bad for not stopping this, and rightfully so. He should. I kind of feel like, in a way, the boy's uncle is just as responsible for that kid's death as the coach who killed him. And yes, that coach killed him. And there's a good possibility that those kids probably feel the same way, that they probably killed that kid as well. In some ways, yeah, you can say that. Because they played a hand in throwing the kid around, um, as well as the coach. No one did nothing to stop it. And now those kids who threw the kid around, they got to live with that. The uncle who watched it all happen and videotaped the whole thing, he's got to live with that. The coach who killed the kid, yeah, he's the main killer, the coach. He's got to live with that now. You know, no parent should ever have to bury their child, especially one so young, 7 years old. And now that life is gone because of the actions of an unqualified jackass who he wasn't licensed to coach judo, which in my book makes him a fraud, even if though he's teaching it for free and everything. So I guess he's gonna try to get off on that loophole that, oh well, I was teaching it for free, so I don't think I really need a coaching license. No, even if you're teaching it for free, I think you should be licensed to coach. You should have a coaching license to coach judo. And that's just my opinion, though, on that one. But yeah, he's a fraud. And this is why you have people like Don Rowley, Larson Halleck, um, Herman Branch, and McDojo Life. And there's so many other people out there who call out these frauds and expose them for the world to see. This is why you have people like that exposing these frauds. So something like this won't happen because frauds are very dangerous. And this story proves it. It proves how dangerous martial arts frauds are and why parents need to look into who it is that's teaching their children and be there for the martial arts classes, watch what's going down. I know, like the boy's uncle, the reason why he didn't want to stop it because traditional Taiwanese, he's very traditional Taiwanese, and it's it's this thing where you don't want to disrespect the class and interrupt the instructor and whatnot, but at some point you got to say the hell with this respect and all that other bullshit and listen to your gut feeling and say, no, no more. This kid cannot take any more. Like I said, I think after seeing the kid vomit, if I was there and I saw this kid vomit after being thrown repeatedly, I would have said, stop it. He can't take no more. I would have grabbed the kid and took him out of that class and possibly took him to the hospital to get a CAT scan because there was a good chance he might have had a concussion. Because that's usually one of the signs of concussions. I've had a concussion before. And yeah, every time I got up, I felt like I was going to vomit. And a couple of times I did. Concussions are no joke. And what gets me too is the fact that This was his first few classes, and he's already being thrown around like that. No, no. In any judo class, before you get thrown around or before you learn to throw, the first thing you learn is how to properly fall so you do not hurt yourself when you're being thrown. You learn how to fall correctly. You learn how to fall to break fall basically so you don't hurt yourself when you get thrown. And it seems like that didn't happen here. They didn't teach this kid none of that. They just went right to right to work on being thrown around like a fucking rag doll. And now because of that, this kid's dead. Way to go. You man. I hope this coach has brought up more charges than just what they were bringing him up on. I know they added a few extra charges, but yeah, this story is it's really sad. And what's sad about the story is probably because of this story, a lot of parents are probably either not going to sign their kids up for martial arts classes, even though the kid wants to do it. Like, I remember when I was a kid, after seeing Karate Kid, I immediately was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be a martial artist. And I hounded my mom relentlessly until she finally said yes and signed me up for karate class. And I know that's probably what a lot of kids are doing now that have either seen some sort of martial arts movie or something and just it made them want to do karate or do whatever other martial art out there. That kids, when the kid has an interest in something, they're definitely going to be relentless towards their parents about wanting to express their interest in doing it. And now because of this is definitely going to deter parents from wanting to sign their kids up for it. And honestly, I can't blame the parents for not wanting to after reading this story, or if they see this video, hearing this video, I can't blame a parent for not wanting to. But my message here to the parents is don't let this stop you from wanting to sign your kid up for martial arts. You know, if you do sign your kid up for a martial arts class, just be careful. Look into who it is that is teaching your son or daughter the martial arts. Make sure that they are qualified to be teaching it. Do not leave your kid alone with the instructor. Stay for the class and watch everything's going on. Watch how things are going to make sure that something like this doesn't happen. A lot of martial arts instructors did not like what I advocate. I've always advocated for parents to stay for the class and watch what's going on. They didn't like how I advocate that kind of stuff. But guess what? Because of this, yeah, I've been proven right that parents should stay for a martial arts class and watch what's going on and keep an eye on the instructor and everyone else involved so something like this doesn't happen. I definitely plan to do more videos on martial arts frauds, and also why parents should be closely monitoring a martial arts class. I definitely plan to do videos on that. But you know, this story, like I said, it's sad that this had to happen. But this happened. This could have been avoided if someone would have stepped up and said no more. But that didn't happen. Now a 7-year-old child is dead. And those kids in the judo class, they gotta live with this. The uncle who filmed the whole thing, he's gotta live with this. I don't give a damn about the unqualified, unlicensed judo coach. I really hope they throw the book at him. And I'm kind of glad that the uncle videotaped the whole thing going down, because that's definitely going to be used against him when this goes to trial. and I hope they find a licensed judo coach to testify in court against the unlicensed judo coach, watching that video to get his opinion on the whole thing and see what he has to say. I'd be pretty interested to hear his opinion on that, or any other judoka out there who's a licensed coach. Get their opinion on this as well. I know a few. I might talk to them on this story here and see what they have to say. But yeah, I'm I'm just disgusted that this happens. It's really sad that this is. Until next time, this is Jeff. Say peace.